Hello and welcome everybody. It is the 6th of September. This is Pretty Good Gaming. This is your daily dose of gaming news. My name is Gareth Evans. We're going to be talking about loads of gaming news that's happened in the last 24 hours. And what better way to start your day than listen to me rant about loot boxes. You're welcome. And first up today in who the hell is still supporting loot boxes news. Overwatch is often the game many point to when talking about loot boxes, as it was arguably one of the culprits that led to the popularization of the practice. It's also a game that people love to defend, from the classic "it's just cosmetic" argument to the fact that you can earn loot boxes simply by playing, so buying loot boxes is a player choice. Now it seems like Polygon is defending the game's loot boxes once again. In a previous article, Polygon compared Destiny 2's loot boxes to Overwatch's, stating how if you're gonna have loot boxes, make them Overwatch loot boxes. In their latest article, they explain how replacing their loot box system with an a la carte system would make getting cosmetics more expensive. Using the price of Overwatch League points to work out how much real money skins would cost, they came to the conclusion that buying every cosmetic the game has to offer would be a lot more expensive than purchasing loot boxes to do the same thing. While they do admit that a sizable group of players would benefit from an a la carte system, they say Overwatch's current loot box system is working pretty well for most players. I'll tell you what works pretty well for all players. No loot boxes at all. I can kind of see the point they're trying to make here. If you want to buy everything, if you're a completionist, you want all the skins, you want all the cosmetics, you want all of everything, it's cheaper for loot boxes because the price of individual items amounts to more than it would be if you just got them through loot boxes. That only applies to completionists. How many people are completionists versus how many people just want that one skin? How many people have to gamble to get that one thing that they want? They're obviously not considering that, because the amount of players who just don't want that one thing, that one skin, who just would pay the 59 pence or $1 for that skin, but now have to jump in for loot boxes and just spin the wheel and gamble to get the thing that they want. They shouldn't have to do that, right? You can make a reasonable argument against microtransactions, escalating costs of game development or whatever. That's a reasonable argument, right? Whether you agree with it or not. However, loot boxes, they're just a scam. They're just a scam. They just want to take your money. They just want you to keep gambling, plowing money into the system in the hope that you're going to get the thing that you want. If you want something, you should just be able to go and buy it just like any other shop. Why are you making people gamble for that? There's no need for that. It's greed. It's plain greed. That's what I think about your shoddy excuse for loot boxes. Starting this video with a loot box rant, getting it out there early. Next up, Call of Duty Black Ops is back in the news with an update that might be troubling for some console fans. While the core series has mostly run smoothly at 60 frames per second, Activision have now said how it cannot promise that this year's new Battle Royale mode, which is named Blackout, will be able to manage it. Speaking to Game Informer, design director David Von der Haar said that there will be phases during the match where they may not be able to hit 60 frames per second. Therefore, we should expect frame rates to fluctuate somewhere between 30 and 60 FPS. Treyarch have also teased the new Blackout Map, which mostly features dense coastal forests. There also appears to be a desert environment, but no mountainous regions by the looks of things. A few residential areas such as turbines, fracking tower and asylum, which should be familiar for COD players. And in other COD news, the beta will be live on the PS4 on the 10th of September and on the 14th of September for Xbox One players, with the game coming out in full on the 12th of October on all platforms. So specifically for console players, specifically in the Battle Royale mode, they're not going to be able to achieve 60 FPS the whole time. The reason for this is probably the size of the map is the biggest map that they've ever made. So many players running around, explosions, gunfire, vehicles and all that stuff. Being able to maintain a steady frame rate or a high frame rate with all that going on just isn't doable. Obviously, it shouldn't be a problem for PC players who have high-end machines to be able to maintain higher frame rates. It's the consoles, however, that do have the limited system resources, even on the Xbox One X, even on the PS4 Pro. We're seeing this more and more often these days, where devs are having to choose between stunning visuals and the amount of things going on in any scene versus the frame rate and how fast they can put all that together given the hardware that they've got. I guess the next generation of consoles can't come soon enough at this point. Next up is the very best way to maintain a healthy gaming news diet. It's the news nuggets. First up, it was announced that Death Stranding will get a stage presentation at the Tokyo Game Show this year, which will happen on September the 23rd. It was announced old school MMORPG RuneScape is coming to mobile on October the 30th. Hyperlight Drifter Special Edition releases today on the Switch with some exclusive features. Gone Home is another game which releases on Switch today. There is a huge PS4 sale now live in the US PlayStation Store. The sale focuses on Rockstar, Assassin's Creed and Bandai Namco games, but it is only available in the US. And if you haven't heard already, the Battlefield 5 beta goes live today to the public. Bethesda have just published a video showing how nukes will work in Fallout 76. There's a new Hitman trailer called How to Hitman Assassin Mindset. Xbox Australia has announced a grease-proof Xbox One controller that features a special coating resistant to grease and oil, which is perfect if you just don't have the time to wash your hands in between, you know, all those chicken dinners. We got news that FIFA 18 has sold 24 million copies this year, taking the whole franchise to over 260 million total unit sales. There you have it, loads of nuggets for today. If you want links to anything I've just mentioned, they're down in the description of this video, so go and check them out. You know, I just got a phone call, yeah? Somebody phoned me, sneezed, and then he hung up. The bloody cold callers. Thanks a lot to Not That Rob Lowe for today's dad joke, which he posted on the PGG Discord's Dad Jokes channel. Let's move on. Upcoming online digital game retailer Robocash has secured $3 million in funding from a new investor. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell is Robocash? Well, it's aiming to be the first online blockchain-based digital marketplace for video games. Simple, really. It will allow you to buy digital games online, and once you're done with them, resell them and get 25% of the game's value back, with a portion of the profits going back to the developers and publishers. The investor in question, Millennium Blockchain, deals with blockchain and cryptocurrency ventures, and as a result, Robocash will receive more than 10.5 million Iron tokens. Iron tokens are the cryptocurrency that Robocash will use for all transactions on their marketplace. There is no launch date for Robocash just yet, but it is expected within the next couple of years, I guess. So how's that prospect sound to you? Being able to resell your digital games and get some money back. Those games that you've got on Steam right now, just sitting there that you've played in the past, or maybe never even played, like half the games on my Steam. You could sell them on. All right, you're only getting 25% back. That's better than just sitting there doing nothing, right? Some of the money then goes to the publishers or the developers of the game, and then some money goes to Robocash. In return, you get some of this cryptocurrency. Maybe that's a bit dubious in itself, but you get this cryptocurrency, or Iron tokens, I guess they're calling it. You can use that currency then to buy more games, more used games if you like as well. So I don't know, I find this concept very interesting. Moving with the times like this, it's dubious, obviously. There's a lot of fluctuations, and you never know really where you are with this kind of technology. However, it could be a decent alternative to platforms like Steam. The market leaders, they just set their prices and then you can't resell them on. And I wonder if Robocash actually does pretty well and gains market share from Steam. Maybe that'll be the catalyst that Steam needs in order to consider the same kind of service themselves, as in being able to let you sell on your used games. I don't know, just a thought. What do you guys think? Do you think this is just too ridiculous an idea, or do you think that it might take on? Do you think that this competition might be good for the whole industry and the whole marketplace? Let me know your comments down in the comments, not the description like I said yesterday. Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. Next up, after much speculation and rumours, last night Nintendo announced that there would be a new Nintendo Direct, which was originally set to air later today. They had planned to show off the upcoming Switch and, to many people's dismay, 3DS games. And while they didn't officially mention it, we can assume they plan to share the full details of their upcoming paid online services, which is set to launch in the latter half of this month. But why am I talking about it in the past tense? Their plans were scuppered when an earthquake hit mainland Japan, which caused landslides, causing many people to be injured and also a number of fatalities. So rather than go ahead with the Direct, Nintendo tweeted earlier today saying, due to the powerful earthquake in Hokkaido, Japan, we have decided to delay this week's planned Nintendo Direct. We will provide a new time and date in the near future. Thank you for understanding. Obviously, we can wait for Nintendo news. That's not a priority at this point. There's a lot of devastation right now in Japan. A lot of families affected. I do want to send my sympathies and condolences to anybody who may have been affected by this tragedy. Next up, indie darling video game Dead Cells has exploded on the Nintendo Switch, as it's outsold the PS4 version of the game by 4-1. While we don't have any concrete figures, Destructoid spoke to one of the makers behind Dead Cells at the recent PAX event. The figures are actually more impressive when you consider that only around 20 million people own a Switch compared to the 76 million PS4 owners. Some analysts have even predicted that the Switch will likely outsell the PS4 at some point during this year. This is obviously evidence to support the fact that developing an indie game, you need to get it on the Switch. Obviously, you got to make sure your game is awesome, which is what Dead Cells is. I've played it for hours and hours. But if you are an indie developer developing a game, The 76 million install base for the PS4 now isn't as attractive as the 20 million install base on the Switch. You have to consider the fact that the Switch doesn't have all the major AAA games like the other platforms do. So a lot of people are buying the best indie games that the Switch has to offer, Dead Cells being among them. This is almost a no-brainer for indie devs at this point. If you've got a fantastic indie game, you pretty much have to be on the Switch. So that's it for today's Daily Dose of Gaming News. We'll be back tomorrow exactly at the same time. Hit the bell down below to be notified when that video goes live. I'll see you then. Bye for now.